What is up, ladies and ghouls? My name is Nidhogg, the buffest goth in the subculture. Today, this is my first video on my new channel, and today I am showing you how to make a tank top kind of like this one, potentially slightly different, more of a stringer tank top. I figure, being that I deal in sort of the goth subculture and fitness together, this is the kind of thing that both goths and gym bros can get into, is cut up t-shirts. So, the one that I am turning into a tank top today is going to be the Misfits. I know it's a great start for a goth-themed YouTube channel to make a tank top out of a t-shirt that's not actually it's not a goth band, but you know what? I've met a solid like 2-3 goths that don't also like the Misfits, so screw it. It fits the aesthetic, it's nice and black and white, so I'm going to do it. So I'm going to put my hair up so that it doesn't fall on my face. I'm going to point the camera at the floor and get started. Alright, boys and girls, so I'm on the floor here. I've got my Misfits t-shirt. The reason why I'm turning this one into a tank top is because I've had this for years and years and years, and the armpits have gotten bleached by deodorant pretty much. And so when that happens, the easiest and best thing to do to salvage this shirt, just chop the armpits off. So, here we go. I'm going to grab the shirt by the seams. I like to have, you see the seam right along there. I like to grab the front end and push it back a little bit so that the seam is along the back of the shirt. Grab on both sides as such. Flap the shirt out a bit and lay it flat. Straighten it out as much as you can. You want to keep it straight and neat throughout the whole process as much as possible. I also do like to sort of adjust it, rolling it along, if you will, by the bottom. I find it's much easier to adjust it if you notice that the sleeves are not perfectly even. Okay. That looks about good. So, we've got the shirt laid out flat, and I'll scoot the camera up a little bit so you can see it a wee bit better, or down a little bit, there we go. So, got the shirt nice and flat. We got a pair of fabric shears here. I use fabric shears because I happen to have them. They're a little easier, but regular scissors will work just fine. So, I always start from the bottom of the hole that I'm going to cut, and one tip that I found is very helpful in this is do not cut too low to start out, because when you cut too low like that you end up with a lot of flapping along the sides right here, and it can sort of look like you just don't know what the hell you're doing. You want to make it look and fit as much like a real tank top as you can. So I always like to start high and work conservatively, and then I can move from there. So what I'm starting out trying is I want to do a regular sort of cutoff, cutting off as little sleeve as I can so that it fits a little wider than this tank top that I was wearing. So I'm going to start, honestly, you know, you can measure it all out and stuff, but I find eyeballing it works much better in that you get much more of a sort of organic look to it. So, we'll make the first incision. I'm making it about 2-3 inches below the sleeves. And again, saving as much fabric as possible, but you want to have it going in more of a straight line as much as you can. A little bit more off the bottom there. Okay. Nice and simple. You don't want a straight line because, again, that's going to give you a lot of flappiness along the outside there. Now 2.5 to 3 inches. Again, I find that it looks nice when you got some roughness to it, you know, when there's when the cuts are not absolutely perfect, I find that that shows, hey, yeah, I'm wearing a fucking cutoff. I don't give a shit. Sue me. So that's exactly how I'm cutting it. Okay, so looks like the back is good for the most part. I got a little bit that is a little rougher than I would personally prefer, so I'm going to trim this. Okay, now here comes the moment of truth. I've got it cut how I initially have considered. If this does not fit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off a little more off the sleeves and actually dig into the neckline here a little bit to make it not a cutoff, but a stringer, which is a little more what this is. And stringers also go deeper along the back and more in towards the back. But we'll give this cutoff a shot first, see how it works. Alright guys, so now I dig what I got so far. What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to trim a little more off this edge here on the right side and round out the cut at the bottom here because it came to a point and that can lead to it tearing. So I'm going to round that out and trim a little more off here because I am getting a little bit of flappiness here and I'm not a fan of flappiness, so back to the floor. Alright, now I am loving this. I think I did exactly what I wanted with it, and so cutting off the sleeves off of a t-shirt is simple, but one little trick that will help the eventual look of it is it's going to be rough around the edges here, so what you got to do with it, take it off and you want to stretch the tank top out. Right, just along the sleeves a bit, right, just pulling it along the sleeve holes, just tugging like so, just a little bit, you don't need to do much, and that will make it, I have found, so that it actually will roll inward, the sleeves will roll inward on themselves in a way, and that will smooth out the edges. Take away any extra flappiness that you may still have, because you will end up with a little bit of flappiness on your tank top. That will take care of that and get rid of that. And as you see, the sleeves really do, after you do that, roll inward. If you pull when you're pulling on them, you want to roll them inward a bit when you pull, and that will, honestly, I have no idea how, but it works. It just gets them to do exactly what you want them to do. So, last little try on here. Get a decent little look-see. Here we go, yeah. I think it's pretty good. So I'm going to make another sort of episode to this. I really didn't want to cut this into a stringer because that entails going rather deep on the neck and going in on the sides a little more, and I just didn't want to lose the actual image, the print on the shirt. I didn't want to cut into that. But I do have one or two shirts that I would not mind doing that to. So, in an upcoming episode of this Gothic DIY, I'm going to show you guys how to make not a cutoff, which is just cut the sleeves off, but a stringer, which believe it or not, there actually is a lot more to making a stringer. It's a slightly more complicated process. You cut deeper in the neck, and you cut along the back, as I mentioned. So guys, thank you for watching. That is a nice quick video on how to make a cutoff tank top. I appreciate y'all watching. Stay spooky.